Hi, everybody. This week we have a new driver with us. It's Scott Liddycoat. Scott will be driving two boats this season, his own boats, in the F class, and also a GP boat. Hi, Scott.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So two boats this year. How did all happen?
Well, we've been running ours now for a few years, so we're pretty set with that one. And then the Shallers have decided to get back into the sport and bought a GP. So doing a lot of work over the last. Well, now they got a little extra time with last year being canceled, but pretty much rebuilding the whole boat, and it should be ready to go for the beginning of the season.
When did you start racing, Scott?
Oh, me? A long
Yeah.
time ago. I started driving when I was 19 years old.
So it's
So it's a long time ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah, quite a few. Who's counting?
Who's counting exactly? What class did you start racing in?
Actually, I started in 280, which is now the 5 liter. Well, then became 5 liter and it's now the 350 class. So I started in that, but I've pretty much driven everything you can in APBA and HRL except for flat bottoms. Even did skiffs for a little while, so kind of done it all.
All on, and you also drove unlimited, I guess. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did unlimited hydroplanes and then also did the monster truck. So like I've said, I've done pretty much all of it so far.
Monster truck. Tell us
Yeah.
about that. Can you tell us about the monster
Oh, a
truck?
little bit about that. Well, I mean, I guess I did it for 4 years, 5 years. I worked for Monster Jam and I drove a truck called Dragon. It shot fire out the front. It was pretty cool. And we got to go to a lot of neat places and meet a lot of cool people. It was fun. And it kind of worked out good. It was like in the winter. So it was like January, February, March. So I could do that and then race boats in the summer. So it was, for a while, it was pretty cool.
What made you decide to race hydroplane?
Oh, that was all my dad's fault. He was racing. We grew up doing it, and I can remember going to races when I was a little kid, and always wanted to drive. And then finally, he let me drive the family boat, and then actually he never drove again after that day. And then my brother and I, we kind of took over and still doing it. And now my boy Grant's going to be racing this season in the T class, so I guess he's going to blame me one day for getting him into boat racing.
So I guess it's a family thing, no, but and you're letting your son do it, so you're not afraid to to let him step in the boat.
No, actually, no. I think he'll do fine. He actually drove the 2.5 in last spring. We went testing, and I let him take it out, and it was like he'd done it his whole life. So he did a few years racing outboards. So I think he'll be okay. It's gonna have a little learning curve, but 13 years old, I think they figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah, just figuring the difference between the outboard rules and the inboard rule. But since he grew up surrounding with the inboard, it's going to be easy for him. Probably was harder to get around in the outboard since there's a little difference in the rules.
Oh yeah, well it was hard. And actually, it was hard for us for him because they're so different, and he was used to all the inboard rules. So when he went to the outboards, he didn't understand why they were cutting all the course everywhere, and it took him a minute to figure that out. So hopefully he'll remember what he's supposed to do in the inboard.
Yeah, I had the same comment with my daughters when they raced outboards, so I know what the feeling was for him. You also had the opportunity to race in New Zealand, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was right before everything went all sideways in the world. But yeah, I went down there with the Luptons and got to drive the yellow boat that Ken was racing in HRL. And yeah, that was another real cool experience. It's totally different down there with the flag starts, and it was awesome. It was a great opportunity to do it. And I know the Shallers would really like to take their boat down there. So hopefully we'll get to go back again sometime.
Okay, but how did it happen that you had to go to New Zealand?
I mean, I guess it was Jack and I kind of at first we were joking about it, and I wanted to go, and then Denise worked it out, and they found a sponsor to sponsor me, and next thing I know, I'm on a plane and I'm going to New Zealand to race a boat.
So did you do good, or how was the boat?
Oh no, everything was good. I think I won a heat or two, and no, yeah, it was great. Had fun. Those guys, they're all pretty fast, and it's real competitive. It's a lot like they take it as serious as our series up in HRL, and it was a learning curve for me to do the flags, but it was a cool experience.
Okay. If we, since you've been around the sport for a long time, what is your best boat race ever?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, winning in the Unlimited and Doha Guitar was cool. Getting into the Hall of Champions in APBA was also pretty cool. But winning in Valleyfield is something I've always wanted to do, and we finally got to do it. And so that one's right up there at the top for sure.
You just mentioned Qatar. I was your trip over there. The culture is completely different. Did Kim went with you, or how was it?
Yeah. They got the year I went. They allowed the wives to come, and so she was there. But yeah, it was totally different. It was I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain it. It's just it's completely different, and you just gotta kind of hope you don't do anything wrong and do anything that offends people. But no, it was also a pretty neat deal. We kind of all hung out as a group, so it was a pretty neat deal.
Which boat was your favorite boat?
Favorite boat, man. If it was an Unlimited, I would have to say it was the Velkin, the U7, and then now in the inboard classes, Ray Lynn's National Modified, the Big Bird. That one's pretty fun to drive. But I'm kind of liking the one that's behind me in the picture. That one boat's been pretty good to me so far. So
Yeah, it's
and it's
missing a
our
lot.
own.
Usually on your mirror, you have highs, but I don't see one on your.
No, well, I had to replace the mirror, and I got to get some new eyeballs put on there.
Yeah.
There's one on the other side. He's kind of a one eye right now.
Yeah, it's blinking.
That's right.
Um, if were you is there a driver that inspired you during your career?
Oh, let's see. Well, you always look up to your dad. It was always fun going to the races with him. But when I look at like a hero, Bill Munsey always stands out. I always thought Bill Munsey was pretty awesome driver, and I love the Atlas Van Lines Unlimited as I was growing up. And so I'd say probably Bill Munsey was one of my idols.
Okay. If you had to race, travel time, and have a race with any driver, who would it be and what class?
Huh. Let's see. I mean, I was gonna say Mike Monahan, but he still races. You'd have to go back. If I could hit him. Yeah, actually, that would be it. I'd like to race Mike Monahan in the 2.5 stock when he was in his prime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
then when
Mike
they had
Monahan and Dan Camfouche in the
Camfouche.
2.5 class. That'd be fun.
yeah, those two were the two guns that were always fighting each
Yeah.
other on the line.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Um, favorite paint job on a boat?
My favorite.
Paint job.
Job?
Yeah. The design of the boat and
Oh, my favorite paint job.
yeah.
Let's see.
Maybe when you were a kid or
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You know what? The Grand Prix Big Boy, when Huey Newport had it and it was fluorescent orange and black and white, I used to think that boat was pretty cool. That was probably a good one.
outside of racing, what do you do? What do you do
So
for a living?
I work for Blue Water Yacht Sales in Hampton, Virginia, and I do a little bit of everything. We work on a lot of big boats, big sport fishing boats, and so I do fiberglass, I do woodworking, I do a little bit of everything. So when I'm not working on a race boat, I'm working on a pleasure boat.
Did you ever thought of doing something else when you were a kid? When were you hoping to be?
I always liked woodworking, and then I went to college for cabinet making, and then so the woodworking part of it just kind of morphed into doing it on boats, and then so I'm getting to actually do everything I always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a woodworker, and I always liked making cool stuff, and then I've been able to take it from building fine furniture to doing it in boats. So I mean, that's kind of what I've always wanted to do.
And you're married. How's Kim feel about all of those racing and now having her son doing it?
She actually is. She's fully involved and she loves it. I think now, if I wanted to stop, I'd probably have a bigger fight with her. I mean, she loves it. She loves going. She loves all the people, all our friends, and I think she might need some Xanax now watching Grant this year, but I think she'll get past that, and then she's one of the biggest supporters I have. So it works out really well. That really helps actually.
Yeah. Were you involved in any accident?
I've had a couple. I blew over an unlimited in Detroit. That was probably my biggest accident. And I've had a couple little ones here and there in the inboards, but I've been lucky. Nothing, no major damage. So to me anyway, but yeah, it happens. It's all part of racing. If you race long enough and hard enough, unfortunately it's going to happen. And it's kind of part of it. I prefer not to do it,
Yeah.
but sometimes it happens.
Yeah, like we always say, it's not if it's gonna happen, but when it's going to happen.
Yep. I mean, we actually had a couple in 2019. We had some issues with some hardware on the little boat and had a couple of close calls. So, I mean, it's part of it, and it's the fans love it, but if you own it, you don't love it so much.
No, exactly. It's hard in your wallet.
Oh, yes, it is.
Are you what is the artist's HRL race course for you?
Hardest one.
Yeah.
Well, Valleyfield was always tough just because I think it brings out the best in everybody as a driver. But the hardest course I find to race on is probably Tonawanda. It's hard to get a handle on the water conditions because of the river, and it's usually kind of choppy, and that one's a tough one. So Valleyfield because the competition's always at 100%, and then Tonawanda because the water is always your biggest enemy there.
Yeah, exactly. Um, are you Bud Light or Coors Light?
Oh, I'm a Bud Light. Well, actually, natural light, but I'm a Natty Light guy.
What is your favorite car?
My favorite car? I like those new Corvettes. They're pretty nice. Yep, brand new Corvette.
Color?
I'd probably take a red one.
A red one.
If I could ever afford one, it would be red.
Red. Your if you ever had to move to a different city, what would it be? Where would it be?
I mean, ever since we've been locked down so much, we joked about moving to Florida. But Florida would be a long drive to go to HRL. That's what I keep telling Kim. So I said, I don't know if I would do that one. If I was done racing and I could probably live anywhere, Arizona's pretty nice, but it's not really good for racing. So probably going to stay here until I'm done racing, probably.
Who's the funniest driver in the HRL?
Oh, there's a couple. Oh, Ken Henderson's pretty funny. Mike Monahan, he's pretty funny. I mean, they've all got there's a few funny ones out there, that's for sure.
Are you your steak? Do you like it rare, medium, or well done?
Medium.
Medium.
Yep.
With wine, red or white?
Natty Light. I don't do wine.
You don't do wine.
No.
Vodka or whiskey?
Oh, I like vodka.
Vodka.
Yep.
Any trouble with the breathalyzer at the race?
Nope. No, I do try and take it easy. I mean, I like to have a good time, but I know when I got to stop, and the older you get, it's harder to recover in the mornings nowadays. I leave that real stuff to the real party to the young guys.
Yeah. Your favorite race site?
Favorite race site? There's so many good ones. I like it. I mean, I like the race sites. They have all the fans. I just think I like the atmosphere. So a place like Tri-Cities, Washington, or Valleyfield, or even even Madison, Indiana. I mean, I like the race sites where the fans are into it as much as the racers are. I just think that makes for a fun weekend.
If you have to think of your best race, which one would it be?
My best race.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say winning Valleyfield was my best race, but that wasn't my best race. It was a good one, but it wasn't my best job. But um, best race. I think my best race weekend was Hampton. I won the Summer Nationals in the 5 liter in Hampton, and there was probably 15 or 16 boats there, so that was a good one.
Who would you say is your biggest rival on the course?
Oh, there's a few of those too.
Name and why?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's no real reason why. There's some guys you like to race, and some kind of, I mean, you just get pumped up when you know you're going to race them. In the 2.5 class, I mean, it was Bobby King. I mean, I know he's not driving, this year coming, but Bobby was always one, and Steve Armstrong. And just when you know you got those guys in your heat, it's just it gives you a little more, excitement, ready to go out there and race them. I'll let you know about the GP at the end of this year. I'll tell you.
when you were racing 5 liters or a 350, who was your biggest rival then?
Well, Eric LaBelle was always tough in the 5 liter class. The 350 class, I really only got to do it a year or so. So I really didn't get to too many rivals, but Dylan was always fast. And I guess in the 5 liter class, the Webbers too. When I grew up, when I started driving, I was racing against all the Webbers and Mark Burkhart, those guys, because we raced a lot in Region 6, and those guys were always tough. And you learn a lot from racing against guys like that.
Would you like to race against them again?
I mean, it would be pretty cool. I mean, I still see him, and but yeah, we're all getting old now.
For this year, if we have, hopefully we'll have a season. Well, who do you think will be our champion in every classes? Let's start with the GP class.
GP?
Yeah.
Well, Steeler's always tough. I mean, I'd like to say we are, but Steeler. I mean, there's so many good teams. Brody was looking real good at the end of last year, and then you got the Thompsons with Mike Monahan driving. They'll be tough too, but I'm pretty sure GP 39. Hopefully, we're going to impress somebody.
Hopefully, in the H350. 350.
Oh, probably gonna. I gotta put my money on Andrew in the 300.
Okay, in your class.
Well, that'd be me.
You. Yeah, you can brag.
I mean, you got to go with yourself. Come on.
Yeah. You're a great and who would be your best contender?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be Steve. Will be one of them for sure. And there's so many good guys. I mean, in our class, I mean, there's 6 guys or 7, 8 guys that could win every week. So they're all going to be tough. But I just know that Steve's getting in a really good boat, and he's going to be tough.
In the F.
Tough. And then I got Guillaume.
Yeah.
I got to go with him. He'll probably be pretty fast too.
In the F 2500, the F class.
I'd really like to see Aiden Sovey do well in there. I think that'd be pretty cool to watch him race. So go with Aiden.
Aiden, yeah. And in the Jersey Speed Skiff.
Oh, I mean, Packarduni is usually pretty tough, but I like Jimmy Stewart. I think he can give him a run for his money.
So we'll see.
Yes.
So you were saying that the Schaller did some work on the boat. So what did they do over the longer winter?
Yeah, I mean it's been a big project. They got they did a ton of work to the boat. We a lot of stuff safety wise. The cockpit's got all new roll cage in it, and moving weight around and just trying to improve the boat. And we'll see. I mean, I think everybody will be impressed when they see it. They've done an awesome job. Everything is top notch, and I think it'll be pretty fast right out of the box, hopefully. And
their goal for the season is, I guess, go out, have fun, and complete all the races.
Yes, and they're taking on quite a bit. So I mean, they're going to race GPA and HRL, so if things go well, we should get it in the water, hopefully, quite a few times this summer. So,
Have you done any change on your boat?
we had done some stuff last winter. I didn't do anything new, but I got there's some new stuff on there that we tested in the spring, hoping to race last year. So everything seems pretty good. We're still playing with a couple little things, but we're pretty much ready to go.
Okay.
It's a weird feeling because I've been ready to go for feels like forever now.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people who have the same feeling, but I think most Canadian driver had issue getting parts, so it's maybe easier for you guys. But in Canada, the guys weren't as ready as you were probably.
Yeah, I feel fortunate that we're as ready as we are, and now I got some time to get Grant's boat ready to go, and hopefully we have a race in Ohio in July. We're hoping to take both boats too and kind of test there, do a little shakedown, see how we do, and have some fun.
I was wondering, in your boat, are you running the AccuClock system?
Yes, I do. Yep.
How do you like
Well,
it?
I put that in brand new. I haven't used it yet. But it's in there, and it's all ready to go.
So you haven't had the chance to try it?
No, nope, not yet.
Beside your radio person, who do you think is the best radio person?
Well, there's some good ones, and that's a big key. I've had a few. Jimbo's really good. You know, I use Guillaume. Mike Monahan's really good too. Jeff Bernard. Even Jack Lupton did my radio some. You know, it's kind of the chemistry. You got to have the right chemistry with whoever you pick. So.
And for you, how's the relation between you and the radio person, the spotter? What kind of information do you want them to give you?
I mean, really, I like just to know where everybody is. You know, what they're doing on the race course. You know, hopefully with this clock, I won't need to really know what time it is. So hopefully I can do that part. But no, it's really just overlap and where people are on the race course. And you got to have that guy who's going to motivate you on those last couple laps too. That always helps.
Do you have a favorite TV show?
Yeah. What do we like? We always watch Survivor. And there's a show down here called SEALs. It's a Navy SEAL show. So it's pretty good. It's one of our go-tos every week.
Any type of music you prefer to listen?
I'm a rock and roll kind of guy. So anything kind of, any rock and roll really. It's Kid Rock, stuff like that. Stuff I grew up on, I guess, is what I like.
Do you have a routine before you go in your cockpit, before you race?
You know, I don't, not really. One weird thing I do, I always get on the same side. And it doesn't matter what side, what dock I'm on. Like if I always get in on the same side. So if I got to walk around to the other side to keep getting in, that's about the only weird thing I do. I don't know why I do it. I just always get in on the same side.
That's one thing. Do you have a favorite meal?
Well, I'm missing my poutine right now. Chicken wings and pizza are probably my favorite. Yep.
Your biggest dream?
Oh man, my biggest dream would be to see my kid win in Valleyfield. That'd be pretty cool. And maybe if we did it on the same weekend, that'd even be cooler.
Yeah. Your biggest fear?
Yeah, I'm just getting old. I don't want to stop doing all this. I wish I was 20 years younger. I feel like I'm having a blast right now. And I don't know. I don't really have any fears. I mean, I guess that would really be it. And when all the fun stuff comes to an end.
Mario Moraldo was driving till what, 80?
I know. And yeah, but my kid's going to take over for me and I'm going to be out of a ride.
You'll have to have two boats then.
I guess so.
Stack them on a trailer to travel. Do you have a favorite artist or band?
Guns N' Roses. Yep.
Favorite song?
I don't really have a favorite. I like them all.
Can you grow a mustache?
I can. You don't want to see it, but I can do it.
Why?
Oh, this doesn't look right.
It looks more like you're stain under the nose.
Yeah, this looks like dirt.
Um, beside your crew chief, who's the best crew chief in the HRL?
Mike Andrews was pretty good. So I think he was one of the best crew chief motor guys there was. So he would probably be the guy.
Um, who's your best ally in the hydroplane drive in all the field in the HRL?
Best ally. I'd have to say Guillaume. He better be my best ally. You hear that, Guillaume?
Are you a dog or a cat type?
I like dogs. We got cats because you can travel a lot easier with cats than you can with a dog.
Other than your brother's Todd, do you have any other sibling?
Nope, that's it.
That's it.
You and me.
Did your parents follow you racing a lot?
Yeah. They my mom still comes. She doesn't miss much. So I think with Grant racing, hopefully she'll be able to come and see him race a little bit this summer. She enjoys it.
You grew up in Canada. How come you crossed over to the States?
It's a long story. I don't know if we need to go there.
Okay.
Now I ended up in Virginia, and then I decided to stick around. So I like it down here.
No snow?
No, and it's nice. It was like 80 degrees today.
We had nice weather this weekend too.
Did you?
Yeah. We broke a record of weather this weekend. So
Well, that's good. I do enjoy the weather down here. I like it. It's a pretty laid back place to live. So
do
nice.
do you play any other sports?
I never really did. I mean, a little dabbled here and there and a little bit of stuff, but it's never really got into everything. It always seemed like I was always in the garage working on a boat or doing something. So my boy plays soccer, and we always, it's tough because, he's going to miss a game to go to this race. And it's just, I mean, we're trying to keep him a little more, open to it all, so he doesn't end up just like me, totally infatuated boat races and not want to do anything else.
Do more athletic stuff than just motor stuff.
That's right. Yeah. Cause he does it. He's good at it. He does a little bit of CrossFit with Kim. And so we're trying to keep him open-minded to doing a little bit more than just racing.
Do you do any training?
I do a little bit. I do. I try and do a little bit every day just to, stay somewhat in shape, but I don't go crazy. This is all natural.
After a weekend of racing or after a race, were you ever sore? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I used to jump into a lot of different boats, and there was times where I raced like 4 in a weekend, and they don't all fit that good. And so you be driving home, be like, man, what's that, Mark? Man, what's that sore? It's just they all fit a little different, and you seem to find all the sore spots on Monday.
Exactly. Who do you think has the best HRL uniform?
Uniforms. Thompsons. Their uniforms are pretty nice. And there seems like a lot of them. So they always look good. Red, white, and blue.
Thompson 35 or Tom Thompson?
Yes. No, Thompson 35. Sorry.
35. Head Thompson.
Yes. Ed and Ronnie.
Ed and Ronnie. And there's also Hal Thompson, because we have 3 Thompsons.
Oh, we do. Yes. You gotta.
We have Thompson in every class, I guess.
We must.
What do you do in your spare time other than working on the boat?
Well, me and Grant play with we race the RC boats too. So when we get time, we go to the pond and we do that. That's a lot of fun. So we mess around with that stuff quite a bit.
So there's a lot of boat
Oh, it's all boats. Yeah, I guess it is.
It's
I
all boats.
like to float in my pool though. We're opening up that next week, so I'll be floating in that soon.
Yeah, so good. Um, I've covered about every question I have, but I'm going to give you a few moments to maybe thank your sponsor, your crew, maybe tell us what your goal for this season for your both classes. Um, what do you expect? So I give you for a few moments to.
I, I am fortunate. I do have, I got some great sponsors and they actually sticking around through 2020 was pretty awesome. And they all stayed on board for 2021. So, you know, I got to thank Kicker and NGK and Atomizer Fuel Injectors and ZMAX. They're all back on board for 2021. So that's cool. Obviously we would love to win a championship. I mean, we got close last year and so that's the goal. I don't know if we can do it, but that's definitely the goal. And with the GP, I know Justy and Marianne have got some big goals. We want to be competitive. We want to run well and we want to win heats. So the goal is just go out there and try and win every heat we were in, I guess. I mean, if you weren't, I guess I don't know why you're doing it if you don't want to win every one.
And I guess a big thank to Kim to support you in all of this.
Oh, well, of course, yes. And for setting this up too. I couldn't have put that picture on the back of there. So Kim did all that. So yes, she's definitely the glue to this whole operation, and I'm lucky to have her part of the team and my wife.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll have a great season and you'll have a great season too.
Yes.
We're really anxious to have a racing season. And
So hopefully we will see you in Detroit.
Detroit is a bit far from me, but hopefully you'll be.
You won't miss it.
You won't miss it. If there's a race in Detroit, go ahead. But you won't have your boat. You'll only have the GP,
The Grand Prix.
the
Correct.
Grand Prix. Thank you for everything. Hopefully, all this pandemic will be over soon. But hopefully that didn't affect you guys too much. So thank you very much, Scott, for your time.
Thank you.
And see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.